Let's go to the fan hotline, and we welcome in John Greco, who joins us this morning, former Browns guard, current Browns analyst. Hello, John.
Hey, Ken. Good morning.
What did you think of Shedeur Sanders on Friday?
It was fun. I was impressed. I was impressed mostly with, I thought he felt comfortable, looked comfortable in the pocket, and he kind of knew what was going on around him. And when I say that, there was on the one touchdown, there was a linebacker blitz, and he didn't panic. He didn't immediately bail out of the pocket. He knew the running back was going to be there to clean it up. Kept his eyes downfield at his reads. That impressed me. And yeah, there was the fourth down where he was kind of, running around, and that's a rookie learning mistake, and something that, I know the coaches and everybody will be talking with him about, but I was really, really impressed with his poise and comfort in the pocket. And he's accurate. We kind of all knew that. He's delivering the ball, made some big plays, ran a little bit. It was exciting to watch. And I know, kind of all Browns fans' eyes were going to be on there to see what it would look like. And I think a lot of people were happy because they want to see him do well. And a lot of maybe not doubters, but people that were still kind of uncertain were maybe nudged more toward believers. And I was in the camp that, I like to see young quarterbacks do well. I mean, Ken and Anthony, I played for 1 million plus quarterbacks, and, it sucks when they get in there and it's their opportunity and they don't deliver. So anytime a young quarterback, especially a guy in his position, with his family, everything that was supposed to happen with him being drafted early and slipping to the spot that he did, and then he comes to Cleveland and the situation right now with the other injuries, I'm happy he did well.
What were your expectations going into that game? And would it be vastly different if we're talking about going up, for a full game against ones, whether it's preseason or regular season?
I wasn't sure. My expectations were, I don't even know if they were expectations more so than I just didn't want to see, and we talked about it last week on your show, I didn't want to see a bunch of sloppy penalties and a lot of steps back to where it was like, my God, they can't even get out of the huddle. There's all these procedural penalties. The balls are on the ground all over the place. People are making plays. He's not getting protected. I would have hated to have been able to not be able to give him a fair assessment because of things going on externally and around him. And I don't think that happened. So my expectations were, they were going to run the offense, and it wasn't going to be something extravagant and this pages 600 in the playbook. It was going to be basic protections, basic handoffs, something that he can have confidence in calling plays in the huddle and executing. And the guys around him could have the confidence in executing their job to put Shedeur in the best position to win and execute. And I thought that they did that. So those were my expectations, especially for the first preseason game. They've been in pads a few times. I know they did the joint practice, but it's a little bit more controlled. So it was nice to see those guys go out there and execute and put some points up.
John Greco with us right now on the hotline. When I watch preseason, I'm always sitting there wondering what's real. And someone like you who played in these types of games, and then you certainly know the difference between preseason and regular season, I imagine you had some takeaways from Shedeur's performance on what you think translates to actual starting quarterback play in NFL regular season games.
Yeah, great question and good point. And I think, when I played and you had someone that was a young quarterback, you wanted to see a lot of the things I talked about in the first kind of the opener, his comfort in the pocket. If there were flashes of other teams' helmets and jerseys around him, or if there was a guy pressuring that was scot-free and he needed to depend on a back to pick him up, did the quarterback panic and bail and just completely ditch what was going on and just run? And I don't think he did that. I thought he stood in there, he took hits when he knew that they were coming, and he delivered the ball. And as we know, guys, the competition is going to continue to amp up, and guys that he's going to be seeing this season weren't in this game, and that he's probably not seeing at these practices. So what does that mean? These windows are going to be becoming, tighter and tighter. And he was accurate, and that's always been his thing. So we know that's there. And guys make great plays around him, so you're going to need some help with that as well. But yeah, I just that was my mindset when when you walked out of that game, you were looking, did I do my job? Did I put everybody in the best chance to do their job well? And everybody could say, yes, we did. And when you look at the tape, you could say, okay, of course, everybody's out there making young guy mistakes, preseason mistakes, but how quickly does he accept it, correct it, move on, and not repeat the same errors? That is what veterans want to see. They want to see how he comes back and carries himself the next week of practice and into the next game, because does he build on some of that success or does he take a step back? And that's what everybody's going to be watching Saturday night against Philly.
John Greco joining us here on the Fan Hotline. So I asked a question. Let me ask you, do you want to see Dylan Gabriel badly now? Because I do, because my question is, what's he doing here now after I saw Shedeur Sanders play well?
I do want to see him. I do. I think Dylan Gabriel is a smart football player. I think a lot of the things that got him drafted where he was is because he's a leader. He's got a high football IQ, and obviously the size. That was the big question mark. And I know in kind of the limited reps that we've seen him before the injury, and now that he's kind of coming back a little bit, we need to see some big steps. And I'm sure he's feeling the pressure, and we all know he is. How does he handle that? Does he, kind of excel and is he able to overcome that, or does he kind of dig himself deeper and deeper into a hole and make the decision very clear for everybody around him? So all we can ask for, guys, is this conversation going into week one and final cuts, that it's not clear. There's a lot of tough decisions to be made, and that's what a good football team has is hard, tough decisions. Now you wish it wasn't a quarterback with 4 or 5 guys on the roster you're trying to trim down, and we're talking about second and third string guys. But the fact that he can come in there, hopefully his hamstring's right. Hopefully we see him in these joint practices and he's able to produce. Because Ken, like you, I want to see more. I want to see things translate to the field and that high football IQ that he knows the playbook, sees defense as well. I want to see him start delivering on throws and scoring points.
So obviously they're going to be in Philadelphia for the 2 joint practices and then a game, but it seems like the coaches always say they get more out of the actual joint practices. You've been involved in these. You've talked in previous years about how guys will get into it, and you're going up against the world champs. I mean, there's going to be some added lore, I think, to just being able to do that. I think the coaches absolutely love the spot they're in. What do you think the point is of these joint practices and the difference between that and the actual game?
Yeah, I think it's going to be big, especially for the guys that are going to be starting the year in September. Are they going to see a ton of action on Saturday night? Probably not. They're going to get more action in the team drills. One-on-ones are always a big showcase because it's one of the few chances to where it's, even though everybody knows it's a passing situation, it's the offensive line, it's the defensive line, it's one-on-one, it's who wins, and you're going to see good on good. You're going to see their starters against Myles Garrett, our starters, and vice versa. So and then same with 7-on-7, one-on-ones on defense. It's going to be amped up. It's going to be physical. There's going to be a lot of emotion, and it's a lot of fun, to be honest with you. Now, I say that here sitting on my couch in my basement. When I was immersed in it, I was a nervous wreck and stressed out beyond belief. But it's really a time where you can kind of have fun knowing that, hey, if you make a mistake, it's only practice, but you're going against their best, and it's your best on their best. And it really gives you an opportunity to showcase things for your team, your coaches, because if you win a one-on-one rep and your teammates see that, trust me, the juice is there and the excitement is there, and that's going to want to amp up things for your teammates. And I've been in situations where it's a multi-day thing, and day one, it's like, hey, the Browns whooped their ass, and every drill we dominated, we won, and you felt like we won that day, and it was a big thing, and it mattered. And you went into that night and you were watching meetings and you were having your snack and you were like, okay, we felt like we won. And then there was kind of like the message where it was like, now listen, tomorrow's not going to be the same. Their coaches are going to be up pulling their hair out, screaming and hollering all day. It was a different vibe over there, and they get a chance to, have some redemption tomorrow, and it's always different. So that's why these multi-day ones are so fun, because it's like you get two cracks at it. So I'm curious to see how they react, how they do. The quarterbacks, everybody's going to be watching the quarterbacks, obviously, but I want to see some of our other guys, in particular some of these younger guys, go against, defending Super Bowl champs, some Pro Bowl players, all-pro players on offense and defense, and see how our team looks.
We have the great John Greco joining us on the show. So your depth chart is what again for quarterbacks?
Well, I mean, I know what their depth chart is, and
well, I want to know your depth chart, though, John. Yours. What's John's?
I mean, it's still Joe Flacco. I mean, it's still Joe Flacco. Are we talking week one, or are we talking Saturday night?
I want to talk. I want to talk. What you think? Yeah, week one. What you would do?
Well, what I would do week one is I would start Joe Flacco. Now here's the problem. There's four guys. They're not going to have four active guys on the roster. So, and I don't think you're going to be able to hide either of these rookies. Cut them and try to bring them back on practice squad. I don't think that's going to happen. So that leaves the two guys at the top, and I know they love Kenny Pickett, but he's injured. And, he's going to come back, and how does he look? And I understand he had a great day at practice yesterday. There's just so many – I hate to sound like I'm dancing around this question, but there's so much uncertainty. And if all things were equal, everybody was healthy, I'm going into the season, and I have to go Joe Flacco, the proven veteran, as the starter in the gauntlet of the first month of the season. And then I hate to say, guys, but Shedeur's, bumping up my list only because of the best, what is it? The best productivity is availability.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he's there. He had the shoulders, the arm soreness, but he's back. He's produced. We've seen him. And now these other two guys that are coming back from injuries, they could be, have great days this week at practice. I know Kenny Pickett's already not playing, but Dylan Gabriel, he's got to show me something. So right now I'm saying Flacco, and then behind it's so jumbled that it's hard for me to make an assessment and a decision. But Shedeur did everything he could to argue his case for moving up that depth chart.
See, I put Shedeur at number 2. But I want to see desperately Dylan Gabriel, because I need a justification for why he was taken in the 3rd round. I'm not rooting against him, because I don't want him to be sitting there like a duck and everybody's just going, well, why did we take this guy in the 3rd round when we have all these other holes to fill? Like I hate the term smartest guys in the room, because I do think it's overused, but damn, I mean, this is, if he's not good, like, it's guilty as charged, is it not? Because you got other holes that you needed to fill.
Yeah, I agree with you. If he's not good, the thing about it is, if Shedeur continues to do well and he shines and does great, I mean, we're all going to be happy. Obviously, that's going to be terrific. But that just kind of masks the error if Dylan Gabriel doesn't work out and it just doesn't look good, because all of the points you just made, they wasted a 3rd round pick. They could have allocated that pick toward another weapon, somebody on defense. We can talk ad nauseum about what they should have done. So, if both rookies look bad and it just doesn't work out, okay, I think, we've said enough about the situation with these draft picks and some of the moves in the building. But they're going to need one of them to do well. And obviously, I was a 3rd round pick. So there's some pressure. It's the 2nd round's obviously different. And it looks different. It's not like if it doesn't work out, they're like, oh, well, it's just a 3rd round pick. To your point, you draft a quarterback that high, you're expecting him to be on the roster and be contributing, and expect him to be a quality guy there for years to come. So, there's a lot of pressure surrounding Dylan Gabriel right now. And I want to see him do well too. I'm with you. I don't want anybody to fail. I don't think anybody does. But he needs to, get healthy, get that hamstring back to 100% so he can move, and he's got to be good.
I got one more. This isn't going to be fair, but I have to ask you, what do teammates think of speeding tickets?
I don't think anybody cares. I got to be honest. I was on teams where guys got speeding tickets, and like to yourself, you're like, oh God, what an idiot. And then in the same breath, you're like, I've been known to, eke up to miles per hour here and there within reason. I'm not going as fast as the person we're talking about. But I don't know. And when it starts hurting your team and it's a distraction, or if a guy's getting, in trouble with the law and missing games and missing practices, then it becomes a big distraction. But, things that headlines outside of the locker room, especially non-football related, if they're not missing time and missing work, I don't think anybody cares.
I hate it because there's like for regular Joes, there's no common ground. If I sit there and I make a big deal about it, then I'm being disingenuous. And then if I say it's no big deal, then I got a bunch of people saying, well, what if you were on the road? And it's like, okay. So yeah, it's an annoyance. It's an inconvenient.
I'm not saying it's a big deal, but if Mitch or one of the sound engineers gets a speeding ticket at 92.3 the fan, do you care?
No, he's got to take care of it on his own right.
Exactly. So that's kind of my thought. Am I downplaying it, saying it's not a big deal? No, it's it's irresponsible and somebody can get hurt, of course. But that's kind of something that you just have to take care of on your own, and it's your own business.
Well, Mitch is above the law in Strasburg, Ohio, apparently, so he doesn't get the tickets down there. John, thank you so much for the time. All the very best.
Guys, thank you. Great talking to you.
The great John Greco on the Fan Hotline.